So I just finished watching episode 1 of Summer Hikaru Died, and if you want to know nothing about this anime, it is gorgeous. This is the one thing I have to tell you is only behind Gachi Yakuta, this is probably the best looking anime airing this season that I have watched so far. There is still a lot of anime that I need to catch up on from the July 4th break, but this is up there. Anyways, we start off with Yosuke looking for Hikaru, who has gone missing in the woods and is nowhere to be seen. We then see that Hikaru is being possessed by something. Unfortunately, he has died, and something is taking him over. It is unknown to this point what that something is, but we know that it isn't Hikaru anymore. We then skip 6 months later to Yosuke and Hikaru sitting in front of the convenience store, catching up like old friends. This is 6 months after the event, and he was missing for a week. They're catching up on that, and we realize that Yosuke, despite his calm demeanor, knows that Hikaru is a fake. Something that Hikaru admits right away, and is honestly relieved that he no longer has to keep this secret from his friend, despite it not really being his friend. Yosuke does not know what to do with this information and is honestly kind of conflicted and destroyed, and we will see that throughout the course of this episode, and I would assume over the course of this series. We then get to see a flashback of them talking as kids, talking about what they want to do with their lives, things of that nature, to give a little bit more character and backstory to where they are coming from. And we see Yosuke having these flashbacks, again, being emotionally destroyed by losing his friend and having to deal with this thing that is looking like his friend, but he is not. Walking around and acting like he knows him. Walking to school together, laughing together, and having all these things. We then jump to Tanaka, who is the guinea pig wielding exorcist character. We don't know much about this. We know he works for some sort of company that does with exorcism or extra normal activity in the area, but that is all we know so far. We then jump to a really interesting commentary on how Hikaru isn't really a person and knows Hikaru's memories, but is experiencing things for the first time like food in movies, even though he's already done these things before. This creature that's possessing him has not, experiencing those emotions. But not only does Yosuke know, but also other people know, like animals. Again, Yosuke going through this turmoil, going through this emotional turmoil. We then cut to see this grandma who is freaking out about the sight of Hikaru, eventually having an absolute mental breakdown, hearing voices, and eventually dying. We then at the end jump back to Tanaka, who is doing the investigation, being called in to help with this murder, and I'm honestly super intrigued on where this is going to